Hey, guys. Good evening, and welcome to part five, episode five, Defeating Domestic Violence with Movement. Tonight, we will be discussing episode five, Thief. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this episode made me mad. I was very upset, and I started to quit the whole series because I didn't enjoy what she was going through. But I will tell you that it was very good, and I had to push through it, and I had to just make myself watch the end because, like, oh my God, things have just got to get better. But tonight, what really touched my heart um, was the challenges of motherhood. So just being a single mom and just watching this episode and all the obstacles that she was facing, I was like, oh my gosh, being a single mom who's surviving or who's in domestic violence and they broke out of it and now they're in a domestic violence shelter and they're trying to get their mind right. They're trying to get live their life right socially and they're trying to be independent. It really touched on a lot of things. So it's a hard episode to watch, but it's worth it. So what are some of the challenges of motherhood? Number one, financial strain. Lack of financial support causes anxiety, stress, and limits your choices. Lacks include no child support, not making enough money on your job, not having enough money for childcare, clothes, or diapers. So again, just shout out to the single moms who are working 2 to 3 jobs that has more than one child and just struggling. I know it's hard. I have clients who talk about it constantly and they're just at the brim, but they're determined to make it work. In their mind, they just don't have a choice. They gotta, just keep going until something else comes to pass and something happens. But during that time, while they are struggling, the number one challenge is financial strain. So again, not having that extra monies from a deadbeat partner or a deadbeat dad or a deadbeat baby mama or whoever, whether it be an ex-wife or an ex-husband, they just are so hell-bent on making your life miserable. They don't want to give that child support. But what they don't understand is that they're not only hurting you, they're hurting the child. So again, that can cause a lot of anxiety and stress. So the number one challenge is financial strain. Second challenge, time restraint and fatigue. When single moms are working multiple jobs just to make ends meet, trying to get daycare, trying to buy food, discussing and trying to take care of medical bills and things like that is hard. So not only are you working multiple jobs, now you got to find time to sleep and have a mind of peace. So yeah, you're sleeping, but while your eyes are closed and you're in your REM stage, mentally your mind is running like, oh my God, how am I going to do this the next day? How am I going to make ends meet? Yeah, I got this job, but it's paying me pennies. I got to I don't have enough to get diapers. I don't have enough to get clothes. Like, what can I do? So examples of the stressors, finding a babysitter while you work because you cannot afford daycare. So it's very hard to get that type of support, especially if you don't have your mom or your dad or siblings to fall back on or friends and you're by yourself. That's extra hard. So again, the second challenge of being a single working mother is time restraint and fatigue. The third challenge is emotional stability. Forgive me, there was a typo right there. Let me correct that. Emotional instability. You're trying to balance your professional life versus your personal life. You don't have anybody to vent or talk to about your frustrations or discuss the daily obstacles that you have to go through. So what does this create? This create depression. You're sad, you're trapped, you're in this black hole, you got this cloud over your head, you feel like nothing is going to work for you. It creates anxiety and it creates loneliness. Okay. So again, you just don't have anybody to talk to or to vent to. You are doing this all by yourself. You feel that you're the only one in the world who has these problems. Nobody else can understand what I'm going through. So technically you're in an emotional hell right now and you have no outlet whatsoever. And that can definitely be a strain. The number four challenge is work challenges. At my job, was, I remember this one time working in a school system and this lady she was taking care of an autistic kid, one of her students, and she got this phone call. They had to shut down the school immediately because one of the kids in class got COVID. Now, her child was exposed to it. So she's like, okay, oh my gosh. She said, can I pick them up after school? And they must have said, no, you got to pick her up now, because her response was, well, oh my God, I can't leave work. I'm at work right now. How am I going to pick up my child? And she just lost it. So I saw the anxiety. I saw her sweating. I saw her pacing back and forth. And when I said she was about to lose it, she was about to lose it. So thank God she had a backup, her family. She called her mom. She finally got somebody to pick up her child, so she was able to stay at work. But in that moment of anxiety and stress and worry, and I just felt bad for her, I wanted to go over and hug her right there and then and just hold her and say, it'll work out. Breathe before you faint and fall out. Calm down. So I understand, work challenges. Like, what the hell am I going to do? I'm working. I can't afford to lose money. So stress factors. If I leave this job right now, I'm going to lose money. Now I got to scramble around and I got to find somebody to pick up my child. Not only that, I just started this job and I might lose it. So there could be situations where you haven't worked in like maybe 2 to 3 months, maybe 6 months, you don't have a great work history, and here it is, you're stable, and all of a sudden your child is sick. So that is a stressor. So again, those things can cause anxiety, depression, and mental fatigue. But like I said, for this story that I just shared with you, the good thing was she had a resource and she was able to depend on her mom to pick up her child. But the most heart-wrenching thing that I saw when she got the phone call and she had to act immediately, she didn't know what to do. So again, challenge number 4 within a single mom who's working and try to make ends meet is work challenges. What in the world am I going to do as an outside resource? And the last one, challenge number 5, I find this common a lot, dealing with clients and hearing their stories, and it's just heartbreaking. Having to explain to the child why the dad didn't show up for visitations. If you have custody and you guys split custody and the dad visits 1 week, mom has the other week, and dad visit, and when the dad doesn't show up and the child looks into the mom's eyes and asks the question, well, where's daddy? Like, what happened? And then that deadbeat dad or partner, whether he's working or not, or whether he's financially stable, when he's being neglectful and he's not there, and then he leaves it to the mom to explain, that's heartbreaking because the kid is looking to the mom for the answer. And then half the time, when dad doesn't explain, the kid begins to resent the mom and blame the mom and say, oh, well, you did this, you caused this rift, you broke up that family. So that's very challenging to make excuses or have to talk about why the dad is absent. Second challenge is having to explain why parents aren't together. Depending on the age of the child, it's very hard to explain, well, hey, we're not together because, mommy and daddy didn't get along, or we were always fighting. So we had to split up and live in 2 different households. It's kind of hard to have kids understand that concept because sometimes they blame themselves or they don't understand, well, other kids have a mom and dad, or other kids have 2 moms, or other kids have 2 dads in the family. How come it's just you and me? Like, what happened? So having to answer the questions, why can't we be like other families, is also heart-wrenching. Especially, it's really, really hard if you have a narcissistic partner who doesn't want to take any type of responsibility whatsoever and put all the blame on you. That definitely hurts the child. So those are the top 5 challenges of being a single mom. What is the solution? The solution to this is find a support group. I want to tell you guys, you don't have to be in this by yourself. There are many domestic violence support groups, group therapy, and if you sit in that circle and listen to other people's stories, 50% of your problems would be solved because you're seeing a reflection of yourself. You are not the only one that's hustling and bustling, trying to make ends meet for your kids. You're not the only one that's going to divorce courts or dealing with legal advocates or attorneys or trying to get your life back. You are not by yourself. There is a whole slew, a whole population, a whole community of people that are going through domestic violence and going through divorce and just trying to get themselves together. Okay, the struggle is real, but you're not the only one going through that struggle. Number two, use your resources. Please do not be stubborn and sit out here and be superwoman and think you can do it all by yourself. Everybody needs help every now and then. Okay, so if you have the resources, please tap into it, take advantage. If you don't have family, use your friends. If you don't have friends, then try to get some type of service to help you. There is free services out there. If you have a legal advocate, talk to your advocate, talk to your CMO worker, talk to your case manager, ask questions. Do not be afraid to open your mouth and ask questions. That's what they're there for. They're working for you to try to help you out, okay? Number three, tap into the fire of determination. What I love when I talk to my clients that are struggling, no matter how hard it gets, they keep it pushing. And I always tap into, well, they want to give up, they're tired, and I always ask them, well, what's your why? What's that fight within you that's pushing you forward? And the number one thing they tell me is, I got to take care of my kid. So I tell them, well, you keep that in the forefront of your mind. Do not give up on that, because if your kid don't have you, then they're going to end up in the system or on the streets, or they're going to end up with your partner who is already abusive to you. So what do you think is going to happen to your child? So once I tap into that and they're giving me all these reasons, like I don't want to lose my child, and then they're telling me I can't afford my child to go back with my abusive partner, I tap into, or I mirror what they say, and then it fuels back to that fire and determination. And then they, with the help, with guidance and positive affirmation and a lot of encouragement, it fuels the fire to keep them going week by week. The last one is stay positive, stay focused, and believe for the best. Like I said, watching this episode, I was pissed. I was fed up. And I was like, oh my God, who wrote this? This is just a horrible episode. But I loved the determination that she had to keep it moving. Her daughter was her inspiration to keep it moving. I'm not telling what happened in the episode. I'm just talking about this topic and how it showed the character, how she pushed and she made solutions and not excuses. No matter what happened, she always jumped over that obstacle. So though it's hard to watch and it will bring up memories and things like that, but what I liked about it, I liked how it showed the challenges and she made it through. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you the next time for episode 6. You take care and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.